Hi, I'm Sonia, and I like to talk about manifestation from my own personal experience. In this video, I want to talk about my opinion and my experience with very specific manifestation focused practices and a more holistic, looking at the whole of your life approach to manifesting. This is the topic that I woke up thinking about this morning. I posted a video yesterday where I was talking about a comment that I got where they were asking me about affirming more for something specific to make it happen faster. And that got me thinking about how I used to view manifesting and how I used to do things versus how I do it now. And I don't do it that way anymore. I have had too much experience with it and I understand it too well to waste my time doing that shit. Now, I will say in the beginning, I needed to find that idea, the idea that you can be super specific and you can get that stuff to manifest. And not that I don't do that, it just, my mindset about manifesting is so different than it used to be. So different. I was thinking about when I was making breakfast this morning. I've said it in recent videos, but I posted videos all of last year, but I didn't record videos for almost a year. It was a good 9 months or so where I just didn't record videos, or I recorded like a few videos. But it was 9 months to a year of me not filming content consistently, anywhere near consistently. And my perspective now is so different than it was then. And even these first videos that I've been back filming, I feel like I still had one foot in that old self and one foot in this new self of talking on this topic. And I feel like I am now ready to speak on this topic the truly the way I feel I need to speak on this topic without filtering it through shit that I used to believe, shit that I used to do. Not that any of it was wrong. I said in one of my videos that I was rewatching the videos that we're posting. And I'm like, I agree with this. It's not that I don't agree with it. I have a different perspective now. What happened to me when I was micromanaging everything and trying to be very specific about everything, I had too much to handle all of it. And that was where my mindset of needing to do it more and spend more time with it really got to be a problem for me. Instead of understanding that this is a lifestyle, understanding that all of it is interconnected, it is a holistic thing to do. I don't want to call it a practice, but it is, everything that you want is interconnected. Your current, present moment belief systems that you're functioning from right now are interweaving everything in your life. I think it was Steve Jobs who has a quote about how you can't connect the dots in the moment, or when you're looking forward, but once you're through something, you look back and you can connect all of the dots. And that has very much so been my experience. Very much so been my experience. I've been thinking about and reflecting on my experience with manifesting and things that were completely unrelated, things that I never thought would be relevant to, this or that. It's like, oh, that's why that had to happen. It had to happen in that way. Because if I wouldn't have had that experience, then I wouldn't have this thought process now, because that was the catalyst that made me change my thinking. And unless you've experienced that, I don't have a better way to explain it to you. If you've experienced it, then you'll, I I don't even know what I want to say in this video. For me, focusing on the life I want was the up level of realizing that I could manifest specific things. It was in the manifesting specific things that I was able to form my belief that my thoughts create my reality. That by shifting my perspective and choosing something else as true, it changes what happens in my life. As I did it, though, it just got to be too much. And that was where, when I started to think about, if I could go back and redo it, how would I do it? That's where the idea for Learn to Manifest came, where it's like, well, the first thing I would have done differently was creating that belief in manifesting. I was manifesting all these little things, not little things. It wasn't all little things, but it was all of these things that I'm trying to get to change in my life. And spending like all of my time trying to micromanage my mindset, thinking that if I could just do it more, it would happen faster. Not understanding that a lot of the stuff that I was going to manifest from that perspective wasn't even what I truly wanted. It was desires that I wanted, that I changed my mindset about, they manifested, and I was left with still feeling like something was missing in my life. And that was when I started to realize, oh shit, I have been approaching this wrong. And that was after I had manifested all kinds of shit. I knew I could manifest whatever I wanted, but it wasn't about the stuff for me. I was getting the stuff that I wanted. What it did was prove to me that manifestation is real and that I can do it and that I know how to do it, which that true belief came after I started telling myself that I know what I'm doing and this works. And then from there, I had to start getting really, really clear about what is it that you actually want. If you take all of the material aspect out of it, out of the physical experience out of it, the details out of it, what do you actually want? What do you want your life to be like? How do you want to feel? How do you want your experiences to be? Who do you want to be? How do you want to show up in the world? And this led me to some very vague affirmations that if I would have started with them, having had no belief that what I was doing was going to work, there's no way in hell I would have ever stuck with it. So, all of that time that I spent trying to figure out manifesting, trying to understand it, trying to get things to manifest, having things work and not work, and bitching and complaining, and all of that stuff, those experiences in those moments is what got me here to understanding it and feeling good about it and just doing it and it being a part of my life. To where now I, other than thinking about things that I want to talk about in videos, I spend less and less and less of my time thinking about manifesting. It was my 24/7 obsession for a long time, a very, very long time. And I just got to the point where I was exhausted. I was tired of being unhappy, honestly. And I thought that it was doing more in terms of getting things to manifest that was going to make it happen. That never worked because I didn't understand what I was really trying to do. But as I did it and did it more and started paying attention to what was working in my opinion and what wasn't working in my opinion, and really made this my own, that is where all of it started to come together. One of the things that really happened, like badly happened, when I found manifesting is I lost myself. I was pretty lost to begin with, and then I was the person who could get shit done. I was the person who, if I wanted something, I could make it happen. I was the person who was just constantly determined, and that did it did come into my manifestation days, but it also, because of the way people talk about things and because you are trying to explain something that is unexplainable, unless you have had experiences to understand what someone is talking about when it comes to manifesting. So that earlier part in the video where I'm like, if you understand this, then you have had an experience that makes you understand what I'm saying, because I don't know how else to say what it is I'm trying to say. I got stuck in the details of inspired action and what I had to do coming from my old belief system in order to make my life better. And I don't even want to talk about the law of attraction days because it was a complete fucking shit show. I did not understand until I found the law of assumption that it was my thoughts. And until I understood that and understood that I had a choice and I understood that there were ways to get my thoughts to change and that I could choose a thought and just think it without needing anybody's permission or anything like that. I didn't need proof that it was true in order to think something. I don't even know what the fuck I was doing. I truly don't. It's kind of a blur at this point because it's been almost 3 years since I found Sammy Ingram, and that was when it clicked. She was the one that made it click, and then from there, my understanding has only grown. Before that, it was a lot of bullshit. And even after I found Sammy, it was still a lot of bullshit. But all of those experiences brought me the awareness that I ultimately needed to change in order to get other things to change. The other thing that I have found on my journey is it's all interconnected. That was something that when I was in my very specific mode, I didn't understand how this is the example that came to mind when I was like emptying the dishwasher this morning. I was like, man, me wanting to be in better shape and having the desire to start working out, and it's almost been a year of me consistently working out. That journey has helped me better understand manifesting, which gives me a better way to speak on it and make videos about it. Because that's my desire, is to make videos. Why? I don't know why I desire that, but I do. And I'm tired of fighting myself on shit like that. It also made me think about when I first was deciding if I wanted to get on YouTube, which it's been over 2 years now. Yeah, because I started in June 2 years ago. I had been thinking about it. It had been in my mind. I was playing the should I, shouldn't I, weighing the pros and cons, this or that. And I finally got fucking tired of that debate in my head and made the choice. I'm going to do this. And the way that I did that was by sitting myself down and going, okay, you're on your deathbed. If you do not do this, if you don't try, are you going to look back and regret not trying? Is that a possibility that you feel is possible? I was like, yeah. Okay, so if you could possibly regret this, is that the path that you want to go down? When you could try and just see what happens. And that was the determining factor for me of, okay, I'm going to try. And from there, I started the mindset shift of, I'm a YouTuber. That's who I am. I make YouTube videos. And from there, that was when I decided, okay, well, if I'm a YouTuber, and this was just like a month later, I'm a YouTuber, so I need a YouTube channel, which I already had one. I just didn't have it like completely set up because I had been going on and off back and forth about the YouTube channel for fucking years. And it was in the decision I'm going to do it that then led to the, okay, well, then do it, the inspiration to take action to make it my experience. There was no questioning it anymore. Once I decided, I would catch myself like, are you sure you want to do YouTube? Are you sure you're going to? Yeah, I am. Okay. And then everything past that unfolded the way that it did. I used to I used to try to figure out what was inspired. I tried to figure out what I had to do to get things to change. Because I didn't understand it was my mindset. I wasn't starting with the mindset. Now I start with the mindset. And that's all this is choosing to view things differently, choosing to be decisive and make decisions about how you want things to be and then bringing yourself back to that and allowing everything else around you to fall into place. For me, yeah, there are things like that where it's like, yeah, I want to be a YouTuber. That's specific. And I know how to handle that kind of specific stuff that I want to have happen. I also know how to handle myself, my brain, when it's something more abstract of just, I want to be happy. This journey, for lack of a better word, I don't really like that word, but looking back at what I've gone through, that's the only word I got for it. When I'm in the moment, I don't look at my, whatever I'm manifesting right now. It's like, oh, my manifestation journey to getting it. That's not how I look at life. But looking back, I don't know how else to explain it other than, yeah, that was my journey with manifesting, or this has been my journey with fitness, or this has been my journey with whatever. It was all interconnected, all of it. Wanting one thing impacted everything else, and vice versa. And when I was trying to just focus on specific things and I was neglecting the bigger picture, it was a problem. And I think in the early days, the biggest problem with that for me was I would affirm, but in the back of my head, I was still thinking all the same old thoughts. I wasn't shifting into the mindset of, okay, well, if, excuse me, if this is what's true, I am a YouTuber, then any objections about me being a YouTuber cannot, they no longer can be true. And I have to reject them, or I'm the same person who's not a YouTuber and can never be. And I will tell you, so much had to happen from me thinking that I may someday want a YouTube channel to me actually being the person who could do it, that it's kind of crazy. There was a point where I was completely mortified to be on camera. Mortified. I'm like, there's no way I could be a YouTuber because I can't be on camera. I hate the sound of my voice. I don't want to watch myself. I remember thinking that it was something I might want to do. This was like probably close to 10 years ago at this point. I remember filming a video of my dog, of Jax, and I was just talking to him without being in the video. It was a video of him where I'm talking to him and just being absolutely mortified to do it. It took a lot of baby steps to get my perspective to change enough to where I could actually make the decision that I think I could be a YouTuber. And that's where a lot of things that weren't related to me getting on YouTube had to happen in order for me to become that person. Things can change instantly. I have had that shit happen. But I no longer predicate my happiness on that this has to happen and it has to be done in 5 seconds from now or else everything's ruined. That it doesn't work that way. I'm thinking of Veruca Salt from Willy Wonka. I want it now. Okay, but if you do not think you're the person who could have it, you will never will. Clearly, she thought she was the person who could have it because, like, everything she wanted, she pretty much got it until the end. But that's a whole nother topic. It's all going together, it all fits together. And once you are through it, once you get to the other side of it, you look back and you see how it all fit together. And things that you went, oh man, I never realized that if I wouldn't have wanted that, or if I wouldn't have done that, or if this wouldn't have happened, or that wouldn't have happened, it the rest of it wouldn't have been possible. The thing that a lot of times we forget, and I forget this too, is I've been doing this my whole life. Everything I am experiencing is what we are calling manifestation. The difference now is I know I have a choice. I know that I can think of things the way that I want to think them. And by doing so, it gives me a whole different way of functioning in the world. This video feels very rambly. I cannot believe I've been talking for 25 minutes. That was just a lot of things that were on my mind this morning. And I don't know what I'm going to title this video. Kind of don't know if I'm going to post this video because I don't even know if it's going to make sense when I watch it back. But, you know, it is what it is. I have been very surprised looking back at the about the past 10 years of my life and how things have how they've unfolded, and being able to take that step back and look at, okay, I know that my mindset was like this is what I believed while this kind of stuff was happening, and to see how much has changed because I was willing to let go of thinking the world functioned that way is, it's funny because so much is different, but I'm also like, this is just the beginning. It's always the beginning. You're always going to want other stuff. You're going to get stuff and decide it was the wrong thing, and you're going to want this and you're going to want that. I've been saying for a long time, get good at your mindset. And I'm very grateful that I started to get good at my mindset, because that is all of your power. Without that, you are a victim to your circumstances. Life is happening to you instead of for you. Whatever kind of cliche thing that we say about when you allow life to, you know, ruin everything. It's not always easy to choose your perspective, but the more I've done it, it's a lot easier than it used to be. And I do it way more naturally than I used to. And I do it without as much worrying about it as I used to. But that came from experiencing it and building the belief in it, choosing to believe it, deciding I understood what was happening and how to do it, being willing to do things my own way, and trusting myself. You are not going to trust yourself and do things in a way that is going to work for you, there is no one that can help you. All I can do is share my perspective, my experience, and it is up to you to use that information in whatever way is best for you. Thank you so much for watching. Love and light.